Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are here for yet another match of Super Rugby. I just love using this hat. It's green and it just works so perfectly. But hope you guys are all doing well. This game, the Waratahs taking on the Rebels. And this game, it should be very exciting to see exactly who is able to get themselves the victory. The Waratahs currently sitting in 5th on 11 points, actually tied with the Western Force, who recently just got themselves a win. Then alongside them, the Rebels, they are sitting in 11th currently, so a little bit lower than they would like to be, but who knows? Maybe with a little bit of luck, they can make their way up the table just a little bit more. But looking through, first of all, at the starting lineup of the home side, the Waratahs have been on a bit of a tear this year. They went from their streak of losing games to now looking like real contenders this year. Angus Bell, Dave Parecki, and Harry Johnson-Holmes will be the front row. Jed Holloway and Jeff Cridge will be there as the two locks. Hugh Sinclair, Charlie Gamble, and Will Harris, who has already scored 3 tries for himself this season, will be looking to keep on extending that winning record that he has got for himself. Jack Grant at number 9, no sign of Jake Gordon. That is due to injury. He will be out for the rest of the next kind of few weeks anyway. Hopefully not the rest of the season, though. Ben Donaldson there at number 10. Faketi at 12 with it is Isaiah Parisi there at number 13. Alex Newsom and Dylan Peach. And then Will Harrison slotting in there at number 15. I need Waratahs to have a chance of winning 5K. Jeez. That is a lot of money, Novmum. Is it like a massive multi, I assume, in that regard? Do let me know. Is this the last leg that you need? Or are there still a couple more that are coming up in the near future? Do let me know. But I am glad to see you. I hope you are doing well. Hope you are feeling a little bit better as well. But looking through at the lineup here for the Rebels, Cameron Orr, Jordan Ulysses, and Kobus Eloff in the front row. He actually scored himself a try last week, Eloff, looking very impressive for himself. Then Matt Phillip there at number 4, Canham at number 5, then in the loose forward trio, Wells, Hardwick, and Tamati Ioane, whose name I always end up confusing because Tamati Williams is one of the players for New Zealand that are doing very nicely as of late. Joe Powell at number 9, Matt Tamoa at 10, Ray Nu'u, and then it will be Tona Maipaia there on the outside. So no sign of who was number 13 last week, but whoever it was, it certainly wasn't him. And they are missing for this week's fixture. Andrew Callaway out on one wing, Vaihu out on the other, and then Reese Hodge something in there at number 15 for this match to close out the starting lineup there for the Rebels. And don't anyone think the Rebels have a chance or no chance that they have won 4 out of the last 5 games versus the Tars, although that is probably before the resurgence of the Tars that we have seen. In fact, it would have been Stacey Ely, but he is now off the bench, I do see, alongside Carter Gordon, James Tuttle, Wilkin, Wallace, Van Neck, Gibbon, and Maafu for the Rebels. Then Horton, Faulkner, Hulls, Gleason, Tazano, very good tackler, that man. Wilson, Jamie Roberts, and then Noah Kwanita Wasi is back in the lineup. We'll be excited to go for this fixture as well. But yeah, I guess the big question is going to be who will be able to get themselves the victory here. We know how dangerous both of these sides can be. At this stage, if anything to do with history is to repeat itself, it would actually more than likely be the Rebels, really. If you look at it for the kind of previous encounters, like someone mentioned, 4 out of the last 5, and also not a TAB thing, you pick one team each week you think will win, and if they do, you go on further. I am one of 350 so far, and there says Novmum, so doing very nicely for yourself. And so does anyone think the Rebels can win? For me, looking at the odds, I would say the Waratahs are definitely the favourites, and I think they will win, the Waratahs, but it's always hard to tell. The Rebels are bound to get a win at some stage. Could it be this game? That is probably the big question that is on everyone's mind at the moment. But currently, we are getting closer and closer to the start of this match, so that question will soon be answered, which will be very exciting. I'm just going to have a quick look and see how they are sitting currently. Okay, the Rebels actually only $4.50 underdogs, so that's not a huge margin for them in this game. Definitely because, I mean, all that takes is one try early on, and you can put yourself in a very good position to be able to go on and get yourself a win perhaps. But nonetheless, if you are new to the channel, anyone, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. I am just having a look through at a little bit more of the information, such as the fact that Kobus Eloff, after scoring a try last week, he's still looking like he is going to be in some very good form for this matchup. But currently 9:45 is when the games would be starting. They're always late, though. Unfortunately, that is something that we have become accustomed to for the Australian Super Rugby games. We've got 3 games of the Six Nations later on tonight. And as you can see, it's the SCG behind us, which is pretty awesome to see it back in action for the rugby side of things. We haven't actually seen a game here in a very long time. So I'm hoping that it is going to be a very good matchup indeed. But currently, the Rebels, they are away from home. They are only sitting on the one wicket, or not a wicket, sorry. That is, of course, Cricket Talk. They are only sitting on the 1 point. The Waratahs, they are sitting on 11th currently after 2 wins, one against the Western Force and one also in the next match. They were, well, in their first match, in fact, it was the Fijian drawer that were able to get themselves the victory here. Do let me know also who you guys think will score the first try. Also, how many tries are we going to get to see for this game? I'm hoping for a high-scoring one. I know that the game last night between the Brumbies and the Reds just didn't quite deliver on the level that we thought it would. Hopefully, this game is going to be an absolute screamer between the two sides, and we get like 50 points. 50 points wouldn't be too bad. Overall, I wouldn't say if we can have 50, I'd be happy. Even if we can have like 30, I'd be happy, to be honest. I feel like as long as we get to see Super Rugby Pacific going day to day, week to week, month to month, not a lot that we can complain about for these games as well, other than, of course, the fact that they do always start late when they're in Australia. But this is the starting lineup. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, for anyone who hasn't seen the Waratahs starting lineup, Bell, Parecki, and Harry Johnson-Holmes as the front row, Holloway and Cridge there as the locks, and then Sinclair, Gamble, and Harris, who has been in some very good form as of late. Charlie Gamble also scoring himself a try last week up against the Western Force. Grant and Donaldson as the 19 for Ketty and Perezi making up the midfield, who are very strong, powerful ball runners. Newsom and Pitch as the two wingers, and then Harrison slotting in at number 15, who played very well last week as well. So a few players in very good form at the moment, most of which involve Will Harris, and then you just add Sun on the end, then you got your two informed players for the Waratahs, or your Leslie and Elof as the front row, Phillip and Canham there as the two locks. So we did actually see Canham last week, seemed to go all right for themselves. No sign of Rob Leota as of yet, though, I will mention. And also the Chiefs put almost twice the amount of points on Moana Pacific than the Crusaders. Next week's game should be interesting. Yeah, they are in some very good form currently, the Chiefs. And it's going to be a close one. I feel like it's going to be about as close as the last one, if not maybe within 10 points. I feel like it's just going to be a very awesome fixture, and hopefully we do get to see it go down to the wire. Joe Powell and Matt Tamua as the 19 combo. I don't think I did the loose forwards, did I? That Wells, Hardwick, and Ioane as those three. Ray Nu'u, and also Tona Mapaya, Callaway, Waihu, and also Reese Hodge as the backline. But looking through quickly at a few of the previous fixtures for the Waratahs, you can see there 40 points to 10 in their match up against the Fijian draw. A great start. They only just missed out on beating the Reds. They only just missed out on beating the Brumbies. And then they were able to beat the Western Force. So every game that they have had, that they have been on the losing side of it, they have been within the 7. So that is 2 extra bonus points, which is absolutely huge for you when you are trying to make your way near the top of the table. Looking through quickly at the Rebels games, the Reds were able to beat them. The Western Force were able to beat them. The Fijian draw were able to beat them. And the Brumbies were able to beat them also. But could this be the turning point in the season of the Rebels? I'll be honest, if they don't win this game, I want to say their chance of the top 8 is almost gone, which is not what you want this early on in the season. You want to keep those hopes alive. But now we are ready to go for this matchup, ladies and gentlemen. Surely this is starting at 9:50, or else I have once again just gone a little bit too early. But the ladies' pavilion at the moment are occupied by about 80% males. The stage, but temperature 21 degrees, 31 kilometers of wind, which might play a little bit of a factor here. But this is the first time I've seen a game at the SCG in a little while for the rugby side of it. I remember when they added it to Rugby Challenge 4, and I used to think that it was absolutely awesome because I was used to seeing cricket at this ground. But it's a very nice one. And I have to say, almost not too bad with the link up there. Just a couple very thin seats. But other than that, it almost looks like it's all the same photo. So I feel like that needs a little bit of a round of applause as well, because normally it looks shocking for that one linking up. Just applauded myself. That's a bit sad, isn't it? But currently they are just showing that lineup. Not too many changes from what I mentioned with the likes of Wilkin Wallace coming off the bench. Also, Carter Gordon, that man has a huge amount of pressure on him currently because he hasn't found his best form in the early stages of the Super Rugby Pacific competition. We'll be looking to turn it around this game. There's going to be a good opportunity for them in this game up against the Waratahs at the SCG. Gotta love it as well. And there should be more games coming to the SCG, not just for the Waratahs, but also for Cricket World Cup. That is coming up relatively soon, and that will be in the later stages of the year. We will be covering that on the channel also alongside the Kiwi Lads Sports. So if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It is hugely appreciated. But this game now about to get underway. I've said that about 7 times, but they are still in the changing rooms. They're taking their time. I'm thinking Angus Bell's going to score himself a try in this game alongside, I'll go Cobus Elof again for the Rebels. I feel like he's a decent man to back at this stage to be able to score himself one. Currently, it is Wilson. Oh, okay, so Dave Wilson's son is actually the Wilson in number 21 for this match, which is kind of awesome. That is the next generation of talent coming through the rankings. I do see Noah Kwanitawasi. It will be good to see him in action. I believe he played last week for the Western Force game. Then other than that, we haven't really seen too much of him throughout the stages. But now the Rebels making their way out onto the field, and Callaway to score first for the Rebels, says Josh. Very good choice indeed. I mean, he's due for one because he hasn't been able to score one as of yet, or score one as of yet, I should say. My glass has shrunk. It was a bit bigger earlier on, but I decided to get another glass of water just because I was worried that my voice might disappear. We were going to be doing Lions versus Munster. Unfortunately, if I was to do that game as well, my voice might be gone by the Six Nations. So I think I'm going to have to miss that one. And depending on how it goes, I really hope I can still do Italy versus Wales. It should be allowed in terms of the vocal cord capacity. Now the two sides are about to make their way out there at the SCG, playing for the Weary Dunlop Shield in this matchup. And now making their way out onto the field here for the Rebels. They're away from home. There's a big number 7 in this one, which is Richard Hardwick. I mean, he's a very, very talented player. I'm going to quickly go like this. And like this. Oh, okay. The Rebels have actually gone about 300 days without a victory, and the last win that they have had was up against the Waratahs. That tells you everything that you need to know about this Melbourne Rebels side. They know that they can beat this Waratahs outfit, but the question is whether or not can they do it on this occasion, or will the Waratahs form be able to carry them all the way towards a Super Rugby top 8 position, which would be an absolutely insane turnaround, definitely with the return of Michael Hooper coming in the later stages, but they are making their way. Big out there, high Hamish Malone got 279 people as well as Brandon. That one, but now making their way out onto the field here, the Waratahs at the SCG. The first game that we have seen here in a while. Jed Holloway, the captain. This one has played every minute this season with 320 minutes of this season of Super Rugby 2022. His tackling success is actually 100%. And that was last week up against the Western Force. So very impressive man. And if he, alongside his loose forward trio in this game, such as his William Harris, his Charlie Gamble, his Hugh Sinclair, those three play well, the Waratahs will be able to play well also. But Ben Donaldson about to kick off this game for the Western Force. That's a lie. They're not playing. It's the Waratahs. I always mix up the W sides, although I don't normally do it for the Chiefs and Crusaders, so I don't know where the line is drawn in terms of why it kicks in. But now Joe Powell, but you're probably quite happy not to see Jake Gordon across from him in this match. So they would have had a very good battle. What a great game of rugby 7, says Brandon, but this one is about to be kicked off for this game of 15s that we are covering. Waratahs taking on the Rebels. It's going to be taken nicely by, I believe there's Glenn Vaihu, and straight away just breaking through. No one's going to be able to catch him if he keeps on running at that stage. What a step as well, and he's just made about 40 meters there for the Rebels, and they are on the front foot straight away. Matt Tamua goes back across, and now continuing to attack the line. Reece Hodge pass it off. That was Tunamapaya is there in the midfield. Joe Powell going back across to this side. This is a great start to the match. Koba Seeloff with the big fin there, getting a few extra meters, but he is dragged down by Perezi. This is a frantic start to the match for the Melbourne Rebels. Why would you try and kick that? Okay, they've got the penalty, which is all right, but Matt Tamua, stop kicking the ball away. No wonder your Rebel side are sitting down the bottom of the table. Currently, 50 seconds into this game, the running game was working so well. Why kick it? Yes, you've got the advantage, but Vaihu just starts this match like a house on fire. Just keeps on going and going and going. And also, do you want to know who won? It says Brandon Dooley. No, it was able to get themselves the win, but Joe Powell there from about 42 meters out. It looks like they are going to be taking on the three-pointer here, which, I mean, it's all right. It's all right for the Rebels, but I will mention, like, that was some great front foot go forward momentum for the Rebels. And this definitely, if Matamua misses this kick, could just ruin all momentum that they just created in that first minute, because Vaihu was outstanding with the way that he attacked the line there, just going straight through about 3 tackles. Harry Johnson-Holmes had no shot of being able to catch him. And luckily, Will Harrison was able to clean up a little bit of a mess that did start to form. But Matt Tamua now lining up this one. Can he get it over 2 minutes into this game? And it would be a perfect one to be able to convert. Give them an early start. Tamua strikes it. Looks like it's got the distance. It's away to the side. It's away to the side for Matt Tamor, away to the left, and that now kills that momentum that I was talking about. Right, now it is going to be the 22 dropout for the Waratahs. I feel bad for the Rebels overall. Now Ben Donaldson going to be kicking it downfield. Who knows? Maybe they counter-attack for this one, but that should be a wake-up call. The Springbok Sevens win by 4 by Australia Sevens. And there's but now it's a good tackle made, wrestling the man backwards. And now Joe Powell passing it back across. That's going to be now linking up with a couple of the big locks. I believe that was Matt Phillip. Now Matt Tamor. Looks like he's going to be trying to find the pass. Now he's wrestled down. And Charlie Gamble trying to get straight on the ball, I believe. Perezzi's done well to get out of that one. He was almost stuck in that breakdown. In fact, that might have actually been Fakiti who was stuck in there, the number 12. Now still going to be available here for the Rebels. A lot of pressure. Tamati Ioane having to have his hands full with Big Angus Bell, who thought he wanted to go straight through the middle. That one's going up now. And that is going to be a hard one to take. Will Harrison just not quite able to line that one up. It's still going to be available, though. Little flick on the inside. Alex Newsom now going to be running it sideways. In fact, it's Dylan Peach. Man who's out on the other wing now, firing up back. Charlie Gamble. Nice backline movement. Ben Donaldson. Good rush defense from the Rebels, although now it's opened up. He's found the offload on the inside. And now this is looking like a great break. And Dave Parecki finds it to Charlie Gamble. It's just the case of can they link up with all the players that they need to. He flings it back. Now at the backline, Perezzi looking for the draw and pass, not quite able to do so. Now going back, Charlie Gamble once again, a dangerous attacking player for the Waratahs. He just continues to make meters. Harry Johnson home goes off to Angus Bell with a nice step, and the big man tries to go straight through the gap. And I always say some of these props shouldn't be able to move as quickly as they do. Ben Donaldson, good attacking run, decides to leave it, and his hands Tono Mapai is able to drag him down. Now it's available once again for Jack Grant. Got to run for from Dave Parecki. Looking out to the right-hand side. Ben Donaldson, nice step, finding the offload back. It's a loose one. Playing the ball on the ground, I would have thought there would be for Joe Powell, but a little knock on from Jordan Ulisi does now mean that the Waratahs will have the scrum feed. But this game has started at a very frantic pace between both of the sides. It's just phase after phase after phase, turnover after turnover. Currently 4.5 minutes in, and these players will feel like they've played for 20. Jeff Cridge, the captain, or in fact, no, sorry, it's actually Jed Holloway. He's certainly taken some deep breaths at this stage alongside all of the other players for both of these individual teams. But it was brilliantly done by Matt Phillip to make the tackle, but it was just constant offloads from the Waratahs, always looking for that next pass, that next opportunity to keep that line break going. Good low tackle there from Reece Hodge, though, to be able to take down Charlie Gamble initially, but now 20 meters out, and it is going to be the scrum feed for the Waratahs. I'm looking at Big Will Harris off the back of the scrum. He's been sensational so far throughout the season. Ball rolled in. Ball is now going to be available, trying to push it forward just a little bit. It's gone down on the front row. Will Harris now passes it off, now going with a little bit of a cheeky play, but it's been put down by Fakiti. And now Callaway has been able to get it, looking for the 50-22, might be able to do so as well. It's rolling close to the touchline. It's getting closer and closer, but it will just stay in the field of play. Will Harrison takes it. Has had to pass it across to Ben Donaldson, who now kicks it for the touchline. Well handled by Harrison. And I'm trying to stay up because I got an offer, a Rugby Sevens game at 8:56. As I says, Brandon, currently it is 6 minutes into this game, 0-0 between the two sides. And Joe Powell now, he is certainly sucking in the big ones alongside the rest of the forwards in this match. Everyone is just struggling to work out why this game is going at just the speed that it is. I think it's the SCG as well. Everyone sees how much space there is. It just looks so open. And now thrown in Jordan Ulisi, taken nicely there by Matt Phillip. Powell now goes back to the hands of Tamati Ioane, who is just a beast of an individual. It actually reminds me of Will Skelton. Joe Powell trying to get that penalty. The referee not following for it. Cannon now trying to cannon himself at the line. Cobus Eloff shunting off one. Trying to go for that ball. It was Fakiti, just unable to turn it over. Now Reece Hodge, they've got another advantage here for the Rebels. One of the players, who was that? I think that was Jeff Cridge, just doing roly-polies over the top of the breakdown. They're going back for the initial penalty, and it will be in favour of the Rebels. So now this one should be a lot easier for Matt Tamor if they do decide to take it on. And Matt Tamor, once again, they are going to be taking on the shot at goal. I'm always curious at why they don't have Reece Hodge kick. I know that he normally goes for the very long ones, but his accuracy is not too bad from that far out. Maybe give him an opportunity with the bat, or not the bat, the tee in hand, if worse comes to worse. I assume that's if Matt Tamua goes off and they do end up replacing him with Carter Gordon. The probability of 79% for this kick here. And Ivan has said, keep up the great work, Hamish. Thank you very much, mate. Usually appreciate it. And we have got 3 games of the Six Nations taking place later on tonight. So it is certainly going to be a busy 24 hours for us on the channel. But I'm excited. As long as the voice is lasting, then so am I. But 7.5 minutes through, Matt Tamua strikes that one a lot better. He always seems to have a warm-up that does go wonky, and then that one's straight down the middle, about as accurate as you can get. Hijack Lewis says to David the mod, and that one. But the Rebels now taking the lead 3-0 up against the Waratahs. So 8 minutes in, almost 8 minutes, I should say, and they have already got themselves some form of points. They did have the opportunity a little bit earlier on, but they did miss that conversion. And now Ben Donaldson getting ready to kick this one downfield once again for the reset, getting plenty of height on it. Now, last time they went out to Vaihu, it went into his hands, and he was able to step his way straight through. This time, not happening for him. I keep lads watching Shane, the movie about Shane Warne in there. Is there a way you can watch it? Says Frank, I'm not too sure whether or not we've got it on, like, any New Zealand platforms, other than, I guess, if we did end up, like, maybe buying it on, is it on Apple, or is it on Xbox or anything like that, one of those stores? Because if it is, maybe I could end up giving it a watch. I think it's supposed to be quite good, isn't it? And I feel like the timing of it, like, there's going to be a lot of emotion from watching it, I would say, for a lot of cricket fans. Currently 8.5 minutes in, it's going to be another scrum feed here. And that will be to Joe Powell. No, in fact, it's in the hands of Jack Grant. It will be the scrum feed for the Waratahs, currently sitting on the 22. No tries scored as of yet. And also, Amazon Prime, do you have that? I might. Well, not me personally, but I think my mum does have it. So maybe I will be able to give it a watch, because that's also where the test is on, isn't it? Like that kind of test documentary series about Australia's test team. But that's going to be the penalty there. Front row collapsing. I believe that was against Jordan Ulysses. I like that. And now they want to kick this one for the corner. I like this from the Waratahs. They've decided, rather than taking on the 3 points, making it 3 points apiece, we might as well go aggressive here. See if we can get ourselves a few more points on the board. Who goes down in this front row? I think it was actually near Psychobus. And also in the middle, I think Jordan Ulysses might have gone down just a little bit. Now 5 meters out, Dave Parecki about to throw this one in. Dangerous individual when it comes to that rolling ball. It's gone right to the back. Will Harris takes it now, breaking off the back here. Angus Bell just breaking 2 tackles in a row. Just gliding around the side as well. Charlie Gamble now getting dropped just short of the line around the side here. All of the Waratahs big forwards getting close. That is extremely close here. Who's got it at the moment? And who wants to go over the line? They think that that's good. Angus Bell's got his finger up. He can't see it. But they think that it might have been the try for, I think that's Hugh Sinclair. Okay, Hugh Sinclair might have just scored himself the try, the first try of the match as well. Okay. On field is no try. Did he get it over there? Oh, in fact, it might have been Dave Parecki that ended up getting it down with Hugh Sinclair right on his arm. Okay, for me, there's no clear evidence, not from that angle anyway. This angle might show it if the camera rotates. Okay, I can't see clear grounding, and with it on field of no try, I don't believe that one will be given. We're looking at it. It looks like he was turned sideways, but it's very hard to tell whether or not that is over the line. So I think it will be instead called as held up. And then from there, it will be the goal line dropout. We've got a couple other angles here. So, Dave, I don't know whether or not that's clear and conclusive, which is what they are after here. So I think more than likely Dave Parecki might be missing out just for now. Nah. Sure, and it's going to be a 5 meter scrum, though. And once again, right here, brother, says, I love it, Jim. Welcome into the live stream. So that's at least one bonus for the Waratahs, is the fact that they do get themselves that extra chance of being able to drive over with a 5 meter scrum. Will Harris off the back could be a dangerous individual here. Like I always mention, that man has got pure power, pure pace, and just a limitless ability, really, to be able to be a great number 8. And also, yeah, I can see it grounded. And there says Nov Mum. And I feel like it's always one of those ones that a player just falls in the wrong place. But for the Rebels, I guess you could say he fell in the right place, because it did mean that you couldn't see anything from that angle. But now it's going to be 5 meters out. Who are they going with? It looks like they're trying to work out a set play. He's just run straight into the referee. Didn't realize he was standing right next to the scrum, which he probably should have. That ball's gone in nicely. Now Will Harris tries to go off the back. It's almost a knock on, but it's going to be cleaned up. That was good work from Joe Powell, just trying to cause all sorts of issues. Hugh Sinclair now, I think 17 minutes out the Kiwi lads. Was your throat sore? I saw you didn't stream the NRL. Says Frank, that one was quite unfortunate, because I did end up, I pretty much lost my voice, but I ended up sleeping, or I fell asleep during the Cricket World Cup game and then woke up and it was way too late to start preparing for that live stream. Now the ball is available here for Charlie Gamble around this side, getting closer and closer. Now Angus Bell with a good clean out alongside Charlie Gamble. Dave Parecki once again. He's decided he still wants a chance. Harry Johnson-Holmes getting closer. He stopped short of the line. Currently the Waratahs, they are working hard. Their forwards, Jeff Cridge wrestled down. Good work there. Now out the back line. This is looking good now. Skip pass. No, it's gone through the hands of Alex Newsom. And that will be going back for the initial penalty advantage, though, straight out in front. And I believe if the Waratahs are going to play like they have continued to play here, they will go for the scrum here once again. Do they go for it, or do they take on the shot? I want to see them go for the scrum. I think that they're just a little bit away from getting themselves over for the try, but nicely done by Reece Hodge in the end. They're going for the scrum once again. The Waratahs, I'm liking this newfound aggression from the Waratahs side, though. And how's everybody doing currently watching AFL? And then says, yeah, we're doing very well. Thank you, mate. My voice is still about if we call 10 out of 10 that it's working completely flawlessly, I'd say that at the moment we're probably sitting at about maybe 6 out of 10. We're not doing too badly. By the end of the Six Nations, though, it's probably going to be like a 2 out of 10, which is not ideal. And is Lahore going to be another dead pitch? Or we see action, says Frank. I have fingers crossed that we see some sort of result in that test match, just because we've seen so many, I guess, repeated one. And not you too, Ed. This is getting out of hand, says Sebastian. Well, they might have everyone watching the AFL now going to the short side here. It's not the best pass. It's going to be rolling away. And Vaihu picks it up. It's going to be a counter-attacking play from the Rebels now. Now available. Reece Hodge has to play halfback off to Tamati Ioane. Just drives his way forward. The captain. Oh, that doesn't look good there. Matt Tamua is sleeping by the looks of it, or he might have gotten some sort of boot in the face. And up the task says Ed. Now stepping sideways, it is going to be a young Mapaya. He's actually been picked up. He just muscled up there. It's going to be called as the Maul. Who was that? That was actually Jed Holloway, the captain. And it's a scrum feed now to the Waratahs. Nicely done by them here. They are currently down by 3 points, but that is certainly not a problem for the Star side this year. Looks like Matt Tamua's got an injured shoulder. Did I jinx him? Because I did say about the fact how, since he's going, or he is kicking, maybe I would go with Reece Hodge. So the only way that they'd do that is if he was maybe replaced by Carter Gordon. It was nicely done by Dylan Peach originally. And Waihu, he's been aggressive in this match as well, doing very nicely for himself. Oh. Okay, Matt Tamua, I think it's going to be either an HIA or a shoulder, because it seemed like he tried to wrap, but he got it slightly wrong. I think something's ringing in his eardrum at the moment. He might have, what's it called when you bust your eardrum? Yeah, ruptured eardrum, is it? Ear canal, ruptured ear canal, something like that. But Matt Tamua, I think his ear is very tired, or not very tired, very sore currently. Also, I won't be here on Thursday for your live stream. I'm going to Newcastle in there. There's Frank, so I hope you do enjoy that trip. Is it for any in particular reason, such as football, family? What are you going for, Frank? Do let me know. But Carter Gordon now out onto the field. He's going to score the first try. Says Ed, I would say one of the Waratahs players. I'm going with Alex Newsom. But Matt Tamua now off the field. He's got a long walk. If they do go right back to the changing sheets, but by the looks of it, they will treat him on the side of the service. And that's the thing with a ruptured eardrum, it is no fun at all, because anytime you try and run anywhere or even just have some wind blowing there in family, and there says Frank as well, yeah, ruptured eardrum, not very fun. And now 25 meters out from the line, 15 minutes into this game. Yeah, still you did see a try. Looks like Will Harris will once again almost be breaking off the back wild guess, but it will be a yellow card in this game. Good run for Kitty. That is a strong fend. And that's going to be the try for the Waratahs. wow, he got some power behind that fend and sent Joe Powell absolutely flying backwards. And the Waratahs, they have been able to score themselves the first try of this match. They have been just persisting with trying to go for the 7. And now Faketi has been able to score a power and a half from that man. He just gets rid of Joe Powell, who just pretty much disappears from any chance of being able to make the tackle. There's this fend. Once again, Joe Powell is there. He switches hands, just puts it on the shoulder, and Joe Powell, no chance, Research underneath him. And Pariki does score it. And that one very nicely done. And we have got that going across the bottom. But in the 14th minute, there's the try for the Waratahs. That will give them a lot of confidence going into the later stages of this first half also. I'm going to see what that does to the odds, because I know that at the start of this match, $4.50 was how much the Rebels were paying to be able to win this game. They were leading up till that point. Now with that one, the Rebels are paying $5.50. So it's gone up just a little bit more for themselves here, but nothing too drastic as of yet. I will go like that. And we will go like that. That one is a great strike of the ball from the touchline. And now the Waratahs, they have got themselves a 7-3 lead. And come on, Waratahs. And there says Novmum. Will Harrison, he's been very cool, calm, and collected. But Faketi's looking strong in the midfield. Him and Parisi are just a perfect combination of power and pace, because you know you got to try and tackle both of them, and they're going to lure in your whole back line. And that's what Faketi was able to do. And now they have got themselves a bit of a lead. It's nicely swatted back, though, now into the hands of Kobus Elof. And wrestled down. Oh, he's just slapped a man on the back by the looks of that. Kobus Elof, he wasn't too happy with that tackle from Will Harris. 20 metres out now for the Rebels, though. They are looking to score themselves perhaps a try to counter the other try that we did see from the Waratahs. But Carter Gordon, first receiver, going back now. Reinu'u, the outside research, cut out pass out to Waihu. Not a lot of space there for him. Almost wrestled into touch, but it's still going to be available. Now he goes out. It's great work by the Waratahs, and they have now got the line out, only 25 out from their own line. Research, he just had nowhere to go there. He pretty much ended up with two massive men trying to push him one way. And when you're only one man yourself, when you try and go the other way, it just doesn't quite work, unfortunately. But territory, 52% at the moment. It's actually more for the Rebels than the Waratahs. 2 7+ phases, though, for the Waratahs, and that is a big difference. They have just continued to put phase after phase together. Going to the back, stolen there by Canham, nicely done. And now Cameron Orr having a run it backwards. Tamati Ioane looking to just straight, and he runs it straight at some of the biggest individuals in the TARS side. Joe Powell looking to the short side, couple dummy runners now out to Waihu. And anytime he's got space, he's making meters for the Rebels. But now Canham, it's a good strike on him by, it was Hugh Sinclair was able to drag him down. They've still got this one, though, and this might be their first 7 phases. If they do not kick that, they've kicked it away. And it's gone out on the full, and they're going right back. Why? The moment the Rebels, I don't know whether or not tactically they are really nailing it on the head at the moment. I guess you could say kick errors, that is the first one for the Rebels, although you would argue that that kick error from Matt Tamua earlier on when he grabbed it straight into pretty much no one would have also been almost considered as one. Go to the front, almost stolen by Cannon once again. They are lifting him right when he needs to be. And Dave Parecki got this ball at the back, waiting for it as well. It's going to be put up high and chased up by Alex Newsom just outside of the 22. Andrew Callaway takes it nicely across to Hodge. He's got a long boot looking for that 50-22. That looks close to out. No, nicely taken by Alex Newsom. That's not his name. That was Will Harrison, in fact, who has now put up the high kick. Taken nicely by Carter Gordon. Passing it across to Andrew Callaway, who now goes for a kick of his own, just straight down the middle of the field with the spiral punt. Now on the 22, Ben Donaldson looking to kick it back. It's a game of force back now. Donaldson getting plenty of height on that one. Possibly a changed line there from one of the Rebels players. Carter Gordon goes low with that, sits up for Ben Donaldson. Now he is looking for a kick downfield that will also find touch, and he does just that, down to the halfway line now. That will be the line out for the Rebels. For a second there, I thought we were going to have about 20 kicks in a row, just back and forth. We had about 10 in the end. Now Johnny Alessi. Okay, they're saying that Matt Tamua with their head knock, he might actually be off for the rest of the game at this point in time. But Toma Mampaya, they're in the midfield, finding a little offload up to Gordon. Quickly recycled ball. It's going to be nice from Richard Hardwick. A few extra meters made for the Rebels, who just need another try or need some form of points on the board very soon. Reese Hodge drops his head. Wrestled down by, it was Isaiah Perezi. Now Canham, so as the dummy tries to find the offload to Cobus Eloff, it's a knock on. And I believe the advantage, the original knock on is over. It's kicked in behind. It's close to the touchline, but Vaihu takes it nicely. Strikes the ball on the left boot. Does fine touch, just a little bit out from his own 22 now. Now 20 minutes into this game. They are just showing there. Both tackling very low on Canham. Tried to look for the offload to Cobus Eloff, who had his arms just wrestled down by it was Angus Bell, who was definitely stopping him from being able to get that one in his hands. And now Dave Parecki. I guess another big question. Will there be a try scored by either Jordan Ulisi or Dave Parecki in this game? Do you think a number 2 will be able to get a rolling maul going? It's become a little bit more rare this season to be able to score off a rolling maul. Wow, that was big contact. I believe it was Tamati Ioane who got shunted off. That's something that doesn't happen very often, but it was a very tough run from Peresi. Now going to be available for them. I'm not too sure what was happening there with Faketi, but now the backline movement. Will Harris steps back on the inside. One of his specialties still going. Scores the try. You cannot stop that man. 3 defenders tried and all 3 failed. Will Harris scores. We will go like that as well. Brilliantly done from there. 20 minutes into this game. He's got another one for Will Harris, the big man. Goes straight over. He scored 4 tries in the last 5 matches or some ridiculous stat along those lines. Just absolutely insane, his strike rate. But it was Faketi and also Parisi, both just running it hard at the line. Then from there, ball on the inside. Faketi got that one. Slightly wrong. Good point, Amish. Not scoring off a rolling maul. It's become a lot like last year. There were just tries flat out, weren't there? So it's not just me who's noticed we don't seem to have that many that are kind of slotting in throughout the season. But it's a great run from Will Harris. Just power personified, gets the rub on the head, his face down in the dirt, but does end up scoring himself the try. Very nicely done there for the Waratahs. Although I guess we're having a lot more rolling mauls actually dragged down 5 meters short of the line now, aren't we, as well? So I guess there's probably a lot more advantages going the way of a team who are going for that rolling maul. But Will Harrison now lining up this kick. 1 from 1 tonight. He struck the first one so beautifully. Can he do the same with the second? If that's not a commentator's curse, I don't know what will be. He's just snuck it inside. And what's going on there, as says David the Mod. But now the crowd are celebrating for that game. Waratahs now sitting 14 points to 3 up over the Rebels. So looking strong in the early stages. Also, it is just me. I'm having fun doing live stream, and I'm tired. And then says Brandon. But Will Harris, who did he have? Jordan Ulisi, Jake Gordon. No, not Jake Gordon. Sorry, Joe Powell. And then also, I think it was one of the forwards who weren't able to go through. Oh, that's a big hit there. Oh. Okay, early tackle there for the Waratahs, for the early tackle from Andrew Callaway, who has been penalised there. I think he was more trying to line up the ball, and then it ended up falling down, and he just didn't quite get the angle right. Now, tackling player. Oh, tackling player in the air is actually what they have considered that as. A kick downfield. Good kick. And plenty of distance on that one. And now 45 metres out from the line will be the Waratahs. And I think the scoreboard is wrong. And there, as I says, Yan Lu Brand, I should say there. Yeah, it is a little bit slow today by the looks of it. Hopefully it does end up updating itself within the next little while. I don't think they wanted to give the Waratahs that try. They couldn't quite believe the fact that he was able to drive his way over Will Harris, which was just absolutely incredible stuff from that man. Now it's going to be nicely hit back. Charlie Gamble jumping for that one. I think he has got it. No, the ball's gone down. I think there was a little knock on from one of the sides. They have said that it's gone backwards, though, off the Rebels. Andrew Callaway trying to spin out of the tackle. He's just getting attacked by Charlie Gamble. He's got all over him. Question for Hamish. What was your favourite game in round 2? Says Brandon. I'll have to look up round 2 because I can't quite remember which fixtures we did have. I know that Moana Pacifica more than likely had a postponed game, unfortunately. Rainu now out the back line. And now back on the side of the Waratahs, trying to find that flick ball. Rainu once again cleans it up. Tamati Ioane trying to break out of the tackle with Angus Bell. But he is right on him. Now, young Taumapea Said that name slightly wrong, I believe. But now kicking it in behind. Down the middle of the field, and it's taken nicely there by Alex Newsom. Now Will Harrison running that one extremely high at the SCG. That is one benefit, no roof on the stadium. You can kick it as high as you like, falling into that one, Newsom, but Callaway has been dragged down round 3 to make as well. And there, so in round 2, one moment, I'm just going to have a look. Okay, definitely Blues versus Hurricanes. That last minute comeback from the Hurricanes was absolutely fantastic in that one. And then my favorite round 3 game, probably Fijian draw versus the Rebels or Blues versus the Chiefs. One of those two, I would say. But now currently Joe Powell going to be putting up the ball. They really don't want to give the try to Will Harris, do they? And taken nicely by Will Harrison now. He's trying to score himself another try, trying to link up with his other Harrison brother. And Will Harrison, I wonder how many times they confuse those two in a training park. Charlie Gamble, another good attacking run. He's got the mustache like no other. There we go. They've just added the 12 onto the board. That one's gone high once again now. Going to be available on the halfway line. Nice take from Reece Hodge. Had his ankles taken out from underneath him by Foketi. The Rebels need to make sure that they are the next team to score. If they are not, Tamati Ioane finding that offload to Powell, who is now breaking through. Great low tackle from Charlie Gamble, just wrestling him on the ground. It's close. No, unable to turn it over. And now Reece Hodge does have to play halfback instead. In fact, it's going to be Richard Hardwick. And Harris 1 and Harris 2. And there says Aussie Mozzie. That's another advantage. Okay, too many rolls, and they are going back for the Rebels penalty right. Now, I would like to see the Rebels kick it for the corner, but I have a feeling that they won't. I feel like they'll go for the 3 just because that seems to be the way that the Rebels have been playing recently. And you are getting 10 questions for what, $500, says Brandon. I'd assume they'd be pretty tricky ones then. Or Harrison and Geordie Barrett seem to be the strongest fullback in Super Rugby this year. Also, Stephen Pettifetta has been impressive. And there, says Sebastian. Oh, okay, Matt Tamua might be all right. He's just put some Powerade in the mouth guard. I mean, he's back out on his feet. He was trying to put the Powerade in the mouth guard, but he was looking at the field, so he was just missing it, just tipping the Powerade on the ground. I was like, no. See that Brandon there as well. But currently, Matt Tamua about to make his way back out there. But yes, Stephen Pettifetta, if you've got a kick from like 40 out, and it's like you have to pick one person to kick this, like to win the competition, you'd probably end up picking him. Like he's just got such great consistency. I mean, Will Harris has been looking very good. Okay. Reece Hodge taking the 3. Like we were saying, probably the Rebels, they don't make the best decisions at times. That is another one. I don't know why they're obsessed with 3-pointers. They don't win games with 3-pointers, let alone like getting enough to score 7s at a time. And now Reece Hodge lining up. If this misses, that's going to be a dagger through the heart of any Rebel supporters. Reece Hodge strikes it. It's missed. It's missed. And now they've blown 6 points as the opportunity. And also they haven't even been into the 22 in the last little while. But Matt Tamua making his way back out onto the field. That is for Carter Gordon. Question 3, how many people in the UK? A lot. Is that a good answer? I feel like that was a very good answer, although I'm not sure of the exact number, of course. $22 dropout. Another lifeline for the Waratahs now. Vaihu continuing to drive his way forward. No, as well as Brandon, there's quite a few people in the UK. I think, big tackle from Harry Johnson Holmes, almost tipping him above the horizontal. The touch judge, I think they made a little bit of eye contact and stuff, mate. I'm guessing if you don't do URC today, then nobody will. And there's their Shark Brain. I hope someone would. Of course, like I want to do that game between the Lions and Munster, but I just don't know whether or not my vocal cord will be able to cover that game alongside the 3 in a row of the Six Nations. This being our 3rd one of today. I'll see how I go, though. If I somehow do have some voice, I'll try my best. But yeah, if my voice sounds a bit rough, I might have to save it so that I can do the 3 Six Nations fixtures. The Lions versus Munster. As I was, I thought it was bad being a Tars fan last season. It doesn't compare to the Rebels fan this year. They're absolutely woeful in there. Okay, I feel tired. Okay, you got this is Brandon. Yeah, it managed to nail it. That's 3 out of 10, is it? Or is that just the first question? No, that is question 3. So 3 out of 10. Doing all right. But now currently, like that's the thing. The Rebels last year, it cost them so many games as well. Like, they just didn't make good decisions. They wanted to take the 3, but the problem is, if you're going to take the 3, get the 3 over, because at least you get the 3 points. It's just a waste if you don't have the 3 points afterwards, because you've just blown an opportunity. And the Rebels are the kings of doing that at the moment, unfortunately. And there's just not enough rugby YouTubers in this world. See a shark brain. Oh, it was well done. Oh, they're taking on another shot. I mean, to be honest, if I was the Rebels coach, right, this is what I would do. I would just literally go like this, just disappear for a while, because they don't seem to be doing very well. There we go. We just go like that. I'm the Rebels coach at the moment. He would have left the coaching box at this stage, would have been going, why do they continue to go for the 3? My multi-beat currently on point, doing well. The Tars win here, and question 4 has had what is 56 divided by 4. Ooh, interesting one. Okay, so you want a decimal, I assume, there, because it would be a decimal. I believe it would be 11.5. Yeah, 11.5 we'll go with. If you're being specific, that one's gone over. Yay. 6 points to 14. Nice one. Rebels coach, this is you. A blank screen, what a disgrace as well. Says Frank. But, like, I don't know why they do it to themselves. Overall, like, the amount of times that they've blown opportunities just to try and get 3 extra points. And now, going to be taking that one inside of the 22 there. Joe Powell does kick downfield. And also we have got there, Hamish, have you watched the Chasing the Sun yet? And what did you think? I saw there's a New Zealand version of the Lions tour. I haven't actually seen Chasing the Sun yet, but I feel like that is one that I would like to see at some stage in the future. No, 12. And there as well, says Brandon. But that would be 58, wouldn't it? No. Have I got that wrong? No, 12 would be 48. So either way, I was well and truly wrong. Because it would have been a little bit more than that. The maths didn't go too well. Also, Hamish, have you watched? Oh, no, I read that one. And also, if I was the Rebels coach, I would have or I had someone comfort me with a megaphone while I was sitting on the edge of a building. There you go. 56. Because half of that, I got that well and truly wrong, haven't I? I think we both got it wrong, Brandon. It would actually be 14, wouldn't it? I am embarrassed about my maths there, but it would be 14 for that one rather than 11.5. I'm not sure where 11.5 came from. I'm not too sure what maths that was. I think that was for 46 I was doing, but yeah, 14. Kind of final answer. I would get a drink, go to the toilet and calm down. And then, do you want to do this? And there says Brandon. That one depends. Did that count as my right answer with it being 14? It was a little bit later, of course, but now Joe Powell feeding that ball in the New Zealand series about the Lions tour was cool. It's on Netflix. I watched it the other day, but it ended in a draw. Says Shark Brain there, kicked him behind by Andrew Callaway. And now just giving the ball back into the hands of the Waratahs. Will Harrison kicking it way back downfield. Now it's just going to be a game of force back. Matt Tamui, he's decided, hey, you can have it back. Put it up in the air once again here. No one got in it. Or go on to a Vaiu passing it back now. Tamati Ioane seems to be the man that they've worked out. You just have to go around it and you have to speak up a bit. Amish, the Rebels fans can quite hear you from the gutter in there, Sebastian, for that one. And also, we've got there, do anyone know where the other live stream channels, are they blocked, or did DSTV stop it, please? Did they get rid of this? Surely they wouldn't have stopped showing Super Rugby. So hopefully someone can help you out in terms of what channel it would be on for DSTV. That was big contact on Matt Tamua. He was held there by the captain, Jed Holloway, for quite a wee while. Now Matt Tamua has to join that breakdown. I think they are trying to target him. It's another penalty there to the Rebels. Oh, okay, he's taking the quick tap there. Who was that? That was Reinu. Betcha that wasn't in the rule book. Now Cobus Eloff, they're up to the 22 now. Now popping the ball up. Who's got it? It's still in the hands of Joe Powell here. Up to the 22-14, yeah. There's Brandon there, still going to be available for them. Slow recycle ball. Now going back across, Andrew Callaway has to play halfback a couple times in a row just to make sure that that ball stays on their side. Cobus Eloff wrestled down. And now at the back, it's going to be Cannon around the side. Up to 6 phases. Continuing to build their way forward. Matt Phillip trying to help out here, getting closer and closer. Who else have they got around the side? Tamati Ioane trying to spin out of the tackle. Still there for the Rebels. This is almost the most spaces we have seen for them throughout this match. Charlie Gamble losing his footing. And is this one available? Yes, it is. Now it will be Cameron Orr going back across. I've got an advantage there to the Waratahs. They do end up messing it up. Again, the Lions are realistically beat Munster. I saw Damien de Lende's in the starting lineup. He is. It's going to be a good one. And also, we have got there question 5. What is 66 divided by 11? Or you want to skip the question. So that would be 6 in that one. Also, we have got there. Can you stop? Here's Betty for that one. For whether or not the Lions can beat Munster, I guess, for that one. But overall, I think it's going to be a good matchup. I think Munster, with the side that they've got, is going to be a lot closer. But the big question is whether or not they will be able to kind of keep up with the Southern Hemisphere style Munster. We saw in that game up against the Bulls, they actually finished the match extremely well, but the Bulls were down to 14 men. Anthony, you can check Freedom Sports or Gareth Mason for South Africa YouTubers. They are quiet now. They're probably on holiday. And there as well. Although I think they were talking about the DSTV, maybe what channel it was on for that one. And now it is going to be kicked high. And this guy taken nicely there by Vaihu. Going back across the Research, bit of draw and pass here. Vaihu stepping. He's been looking like the more dangerous winger out of the two options. Currently now going back across Joe Powell. Oh, it's a juggle from Jordan Ulisi. Now Charlie Gamble. Bit of a draw and pass here. It's going to be Big Jed all the way. I know what to link up. And there as well. And also, I said stop, says Betty. What are you telling him to stop with, Betty? I am confused. We're currently now 22 metres out from the line, and the Rebels have got this ball back now. Now going back across. And that one. And do you want me to time out? What? You've been smoking something, Betty. But currently now 35 metres out from the line. And now Joe Powell going back across. Question 6 at halftime. Good run 4 from Matt Phillips, linking up with Kobus Elof. And that one, it always is their first receiver option. Anytime he's there. That's the thing. As a prop, he is always very impressive for himself. Now that one's going to be a little knock on. Well, that one from Angus Bowen, question 6 at halftime. Now they have got that ball back. The Waratahs come back across Will Harrison. One more. Are you live streaming other games today and tomorrow as well? Says Internet. We are indeed. So we are going to be doing the live stream. That's a great draw and pass. No, just a little bit too far out in front of Newsom. So we've got the game that has taken place between the Six Nations, those 3 games of the Six Nations. We will be doing all 3 of them in there as well. And then after that, we will be doing the URC tomorrow night between the Stormers and Cardiff. I really want to do the game tonight between the Lions and Munster, but my voice may not handle so many live streams in a row, as I know Finn Russell, and it says B. Schmitty. But they have been just going back and forth for these two sides. But yeah, it's going to be interesting seeing how they go without their Scottish number 15, or sorry, Scottish number 10, their playmaker in Finn Russell. Definitely because it's going to be up against a tough Irish lineup. And England have also made quite a few changes, haven't they? They've actually gone Freddie Stewart out on the wing compared to the fullback, and they have got George Furbank there. Oh, this looks like a head knock for Jeff Cridge. So he looks like he is going to be going off for an HIA currently. And also, Amod Splitby as well, says Sharp Brain. Currently now it will be 37 minutes into this matchup. Now 14 points to 6 here, and only another 3 minutes left in the first half. That's another sub. Oh, okay, that was number 20. He's making his way out there. That looks like Carlo Tizzano now in there. Now 45 metres out. Jordan Ulisi about to throw this one in, but that is a replacement for Jeff Cridge, who is off for a head injury assessment. We've actually already seen one so far in this matchup with Matt Tamua. And I think that is the only one. And fingers crossed that one that we have got now is going to be the last. Backline movement now. Matt Tamua off to Research. This is looking a lot better, though, from the Rebels. Vaihu down the wing. Anytime he's at the ball, he has certainly made plenty of meterage. Now Powell going back across to Matt Tamua. Nice pass out to Canham, who receives a skip pass now. Now Joe Powell going back across once again. Now out to Matt Phillip. 45 out for the Rebels. This is good face play currently. Powell going back to Tamua. Now to Research. That seems to be the stock standard backline movement. Now the big man Hardwick looks for the ball on the inside. It's off to Research. Okay, it's a little knock on. for that one. And the Rebels just a slight, or in fact, they've called it as a forward pass. I think they lost their advantage as well. It looks like there's a cut on Hardwick's cheek. Okay, there's going to be another unfortunate moment there for the Rebels. That's the other side of it. The Rebels, when they go on attack, they may start in that situation of going, oh, it's not working, so we might as well just go back to the 3. But I think this is important for them to keep on being as aggressive as they are. You are good at match, but are you good at, says Brandon there, or building suspense? Like it. Currently now 38 minutes through. The Waratahs, if they can get themselves another try here, they would be pretty happy with that, I would think. It was a first try of the match for Will Harris. Or in fact, sorry, that was the second try, as the earlier try was scored by Feketi, who just pierced his way straight through the defensive line. Currently now 14-6 in that one as well. Front row's going down. We haven't actually had too many scrum resets in this one, which is actually very nice, because in a few of the other games, we've had about 15 minutes of waiting for scrums to be reset. It does mean that the games are only sitting around that kind of 65 minutes or so, but it's nice weather there by the looks of it for the SCG. A little bit of wind. Oh, it's a scrum reset. I jinxed it so badly, because now the clock's going to tick down and they are going to have to wait. See, I feel like every time there's a scrum reset, it should be clock off as well, just so that they don't end up wasting a minute upon a minute. Right, as well, they're currently now just waiting for the scrum feed here. Okay, someone's fired up at the moment. I'm not sure whether that's the Rebels or the Waratahs are getting fired up by their locks and also the loose forwards. Currently now the Waratahs, they will be able to feed this one in. There's only another 30 seconds. They've gone in now. Oh, it's gone down, and it's a penalty there to the Waratahs, so they have been able to work very nicely for that penalty. And now that is going to be the front row collapsing. But currently 18 seconds left in this first half, and this will use up the last little moment of this game that they have got. And also we have got there, are good at name, or are you good at name P something, something, something M? Is that 4 or 3 dots? So I assume it's like trying to guess. That's actually going to be halftime. They did take the tap and kick it into touch. So they said that'll do us. We are going in at halftime. 14 points to 6 here for the Waratahs. And also question, what is 1 + 1? Well, that depends. At school, we would do, oh, well, no, the teachers didn't teach this. But 1 + 1 did equal windows, or window in that one. And also, Hamish, can I make a suggestion? Says Sharp Brain. That will depend on what your suggestion is in that regard. But do let me hear it. But currently halftime now, this one. So we will get some stats up for this one as well. One moment. We are on round 2 currently. How did I end up on round 2? Even though I didn't go on round 2 on my... I went on round 2 on my phone, and now it thought that I was sitting there as the round 2 situation, which is interesting there as well. And also, well, let's see. Let's see if you get this one. There says Batty Wagon. And also 2 tries for the Waratahs. 0 + 0. That used to be stereo, didn't it? Or something along those lines. Oh, no, that was 10 + 1. 0 + 0 looks like a miniature face of some sort. But 0 would be the correct answer. And that one, but meters carried 226 for the Rebels, 178 for the Waratahs. And also defenders beaten 15 for the Waratahs and 13 for the Rebels there as well. 3 clean breaks to the 2 of the Melbourne Rebels. And also we have got there, it should be named Mario with that long beard of his. And also we have got there, my suggestion is sometimes blind people listen to your channel, so they don't always know the score. So maybe you can just say the score now and then. And there's this Sharp Brain. I will try my best to remember it as well. I think I end up saying the try score is more than the score itself, don't I? For that one. Currently 14-6 at halftime. The clean breaks 3 to the 2 at the moment. And also you were right, says Patty. And that one also, this is the first part of question 6, says Brandon there as well. But defensively, been relatively even, other than the fact that the Rebels, they have had to make a lot less tackles in this game, but they have missed more tackles as well, which is not ideal for them in that matchup. But currently now looking through, penalties conceded 5 for the Waratahs, 4 for the Rebels, and then also possession is 70% in favour of the Rebels. Yet they are actually 14 points to 6 down, and that is down to the fact that they put phase after phase together, but then they kick for the 3 and then just give the ball straight back. But Will Harrison, the most running meters out of any player for the New South Wales Waratahs, it was 36 4 clean breaks, and 1 defender beaten for him as well. Miss Billy says Frank, and there he is still about somewhere. I don't think he's in the lounge at the moment, but we have still got 1 moment. We will go like this. And we will go like this. There we go. He's up in the corner now. Speaking of blind people, that is my cat. And he is actually blind in his left eye, or sorry, his right eye. And also, sorry, I meant mustache. And there says Frank. And also, I know there's a lot of blind people who love rugby too. And also, what have you been doing? Clearly different. And there says Betty. Well, that one. And also, question 6 parts. 1, what word is this? LOVE. That would be love. These questions seem like they're a bit too simple, Brandon. I'll be honest. For $500, I thought they would be a bit more of a challenge. Saying that, I did get question 3 wrong for a start. But it was Glenn Vaihu. This man is well and truly owning everything. 110 meters carried, 9 carries, 2 defenders beaten, 1 clean break, compared to Andrew Callaway's 32. And he is actually the second most. So an extra 80 meters Glenn Vaihu has been able to run here, which is absolutely sensational for himself, and we'll be able to extend that in the next one. Kobus Eloff also having 29 running meters. He's been busy for the prop. And now they will just be waiting for the opportunity in the second half to see whether or not they can get a few more in a row there as well. But the Rebels, they've missed out on a total of 6 points so far. So will they end up getting it wrong in the second half, or do they go a little bit more aggressive? Try and get themselves those 7s and the 5s rather than the 3s. What's the national team looking like this year? Same old, same old. Oh, they've got a few young guys coming through the ranks. And I think that was kind of the wake-up call of the youngsters such as an Andrew Callaway and those kind of guys who went through and performed. They went, right, yes, we can have like Quade Cooper, Sami Karevi, and all those older guys, but we do also need to bring up that young talent. And I mean, Will Harris is looking phenomenal here for this one. What's the highlight so far? I think Glenn Vaihu off the kickoff, just running it almost down the field. And I was like, what do you mean? And then says Frank. Okay, their key moment is actually, however, Lalakai Faketi, who I was able to go through, and also fend off Joe Powell, got rid of him, and rate both teams' performances in the first half. I would give the Rebels a 4. In fact, I'll give them a 3, which seems very strict and very harsh, but there were a lot of moments in that first half where they made terrible decisions, unfortunately. And then the Waratahs, I'll give them about a 6. They were decent overall. They made a lot of tackles. They were doing nicely for themselves. Also, good attacking runs from Faketi and Parisi in the midfield. The big men, Will Harris, Charlie Gamble, and also Hugh Sinclair working hard as well there themselves. And also players to watch from both teams. Says Ed. So player to watch for the Rebels is definitely Glenn Vai, who's already at 122 running meters for himself. I feel like he is the key for them to be able to break through and get themselves a try. And then for the Waratahs, I'll go. I mean, Will Harris has already scored a try, so I feel like he's not really one to watch because we already know how dangerous he is. So we'll go with. I'll go either Charlie Gamble or Parisi. I think is one of those two, or Parisi, I should say. And also, question 6 part 2. It was a good YouTube on Fortnite. No look on your phone and chat. Be quiet. And then it says Brandon, a good on Fortnite. Uh-oh. Who? I don't know. Who does Fortnite? I don't even know, really. One of them is like in phase, isn't he? Tifu? Is it Tifu? Is he a Fortnite fellow? I don't know. And also, what's the score margin for this match? I see the Waratahs being able to really advance themselves a lot further in this one if they do get it right. And I'd say that they can win this game by about 13. I love you, Billy, says Frank, in the top corner. Of course, we have got ourselves the cat there. Okay. I'm not sure what's going on here, but there's, at the moment, it looks like Andrew Mertens is about to punch a bag. Hopefully he doesn't break his hand. And also Sharks versus Zebra today. That's going to be hard to watch. See a sharp run. Yeah, it could be pretty one-sided for this game. Okay. Mertz is about to... Mertens has just really messed that up. He did a hook and he didn't realize you're supposed to punch it. Okay, so he still hasn't quite worked it out. I didn't realize that they were going to be doing this, and also, and let you know, you get 2 questions. Not right, no $500. Oh, okay, he actually registered for that one. And now at this stage, just waiting for the second half to get back under. I'm liking this. Have it something different at the halftime, and also I'll let you at one miss, as I says Brandon there. But Sonny Bill Williams versus Hall is going to be coming up very soon. Should be an exciting one. Barry Hall, of course, is an ex-Australian sportsman, isn't he? And currently, that's going to be on Wednesday night. Currently, still just waiting for the second half. But I will show you guys how the table is sitting currently. Although I will mention there are a couple changes on this one. The Rebels are still only sitting on the 1 point. And also alongside that, we have got the, where are we? One moment. We will go, where is it gone? There it is. Okay, this was from a lot earlier on. So pretty much it does mean that the Waratahs, if they win this game, they move up above the Crusaders more than likely if they do win it with a bonus point, which is doable, definitely with the Rebels taking 3-pointers so often. Will mean that they will be able to promote themselves up to 16 points, with the Crusaders not actually having a game this weekend. Will give them plenty of confidence. But the Fijian Roa, the moment they are sitting 1 win, 3 draws. Western Force, 1 win, 3 draws. Rebels, 4 losses in a row. But this could be the turning point for them. Or at least they will be hoping anyway. And fun fact, I'm as scared as of vampires. They are indeed. And Hamish, if you get this, I get a 20 next week. Who's the best YouTuber in there, says Patty. I get a 20 next week. But the problem is, Patty, like, I don't know what, this is a tricky one. Because I feel like, for one, I don't think you do YouTube. So that wouldn't be the choice of you for that one. But then also, if it's like, if you get this and you're saying it's me, but then if it's not me, that sounds really bad. Me being like, is it me, Patty? Am I the best YouTuber? I mean, is it your opinion or in general? Do let me know in question 7 in 6 minutes. But currently now should be back into the second half, hopefully by that stage. They always have a long halftime break in the Australian competition, and also a long time till they start. I believe this one kicked off at about 9:55 rather than the 9:45 that it was supposed to. That one as well. Hopefully we're back in by 10:50, as I do still have the Six Nations to prepare for, which is going to be very exciting. But I got most of that done. I just need to make the thumbnails and then put them on the YouTube channel. So we're all ready to go for 3 in a row. Bang, bang, bang. We might even try Munster versus Lions. I feel like that will be the last one that I do end up scheduling, though. And also, my opinion, says Patty. Oh. See, I don't know whether or not it is me or not. You do spend a lot of time here, but maybe there's other channels that you do spend plenty of time on as well. And I don't really know any of the other ones that you do watch that I can think of. I'm going to go me, but I feel like that's a really, like, I don't like saying it. Anyone says hi, welcome in. And also, no offense, but you're making my brain shrink, as it says Frank. All that one there as well. But currently, they've got a TAB ad, and currently the Rebels are not really favourites at any stage of a game, really, when they are there. And, bro, I request you, as a fan, to watch a film named The Kashmir Files. And there it says A1 saying, I think it's on, is it on YouTube? AUB Richard next week, says Patty Wagon. So do we know it? Thank you very much, Patty. Not just for that, but also for saying that we are the best, you know? We take compliments well. Not really. I feel like I always go real awkward when I get a compliment overall, but it is usually appreciated. And yeah, we have got plenty more videos coming up extremely soon, whether that is the Six Nations, whether it's going to be midweek, maybe a football World Cup qualifying game. I think it's going to be New Zealand versus Fiji, which will be a good one to watch for the Kiwis, and hopefully they are able to get themselves the win. But I'm going to have to redo my schedule as well once we get to the end of this weekend, just because there is a lot of matches for cricket, rugby, rugby league, football, and everything in between that we have got as well. But we will be covering it all on the channel. But nonetheless, we will quickly once again show you guys who are coming off the benches in this game for the Waratahs. They have got Horton, Faulkner, Holes, Gleeson, Tazano actually already out on the field. That is due to the head knock of Jeff Cridge. Then Wilson, Roberts, and Nawakwanetawasi there at number 23. Then for the Rebels, we've already seen a little bit of Carter Gordon. That was due to the head knock of Matt Tamua. But he is back out on the field now. I could hear clicking, and I wasn't sure what it was, but it was my pants zip up against the chair. The more you know. But yeah, these are the two benches that they have got for this matchup. And also, do you want more questions again sometime soon? Says Brandon. Well, that depends whether or not the paycheck comes through. I guess if it is for $500 overall, but I don't think it will be for $500. I wouldn't think. Overall, I feel like they are just fun questions, and that is all right in that regard. But now I'll quickly, should we switch out Billy up in the top corner and we'll put in Kieran, eh? We'll give Kieran another go. There we go. He can go up there, and currently now they are just showing a few more of the highlights from the first half. It's been an impressive one. It started off at a frantic pace right from the kickoff when Vaihu took that ball and just ran with it. About 15 meters, he was able to go. Oh, okay, that didn't look too good for Angus Bell's back, which is not what they would have been wanting there. So do they take him off at halftime? And our women's have won have to win the last two games to have a chance of getting in as well. So that will be for the Cricket World Cup. So hopefully they can do so. But if not, they have still had a valiant effort in that World Cup as well. We have got the other Kiwi lads. Who's nicer, Billy or you? I would say me, because I haven't bitten many people. Keyword there, many. I feel like biting's very, we bite into food, but I can't imagine biting someone or something that's not food overall. I feel like it would just be annoying. Now making their way out there. I'm looking around for Angus Bell. I don't know if I see him, unless he ran out quicker than everyone else. But then who's his replacement? Who that? No, that's not him. 11, 20. So it would be 17 that we're looking for. I don't know. I not give you $500. Sorry, now I feel bad. It's all good. I wasn't expecting it from the get-go. But at the moment, it is going to be Tatera Faulkner out there on the field. That is for Angus Bell, who has gone off with an injury, sadly. I was like, wait, you say you haven't bitten many people in there, says Patty. Yeah, not on purpose anyway. And I was like, I've got there, wait. Oh, I was like, but a teacher, when I was 5 and made her bleed, I was a vicious child. Jeez, that's commitment. That is for sure. I assumed that wouldn't have gone down too well. Rebels have no chance unless they start trying to score tries, not penalties, and they just show some attacking intent. Yeah. It's just been, to call it disappointing, it's probably a little bit of an understatement, because they just don't seem to want it. I'll say he gets 20 though, says Betty. That is true. Betty said that he was going to be doing it next week. And now Joe Powell passing it back across field here. Continuing to build their way forward. But Angus Bell, I think, is back. How do they taste in there? Says Patty Wagon. Oh, I feel like that's the thing. I probably bit someone as a very, very, very young child, just because I feel like a lot of children do end up going through a biting phase. This is when you're 1 or 2 or something, and someone puts their finger near your mouth and you just bite it. I got bitten by a kid in prep. I had anger problems and it made me cry. But I'm a man now. Nothing's going to make me cry. And there's his rank as well. Although biting would hurt, because it's like getting clamped by a dog. It's like they've got you and they're not letting go. And if you try and move them, it probably gets tighter. And Bayern Munich, a 1943 logo was combined with that. That's not good. I can understand why they changed that, Henry, I would think. They're currently offside against the Waratahs. It's unfortunate for them. And I'm 80 overall and also another 3 points. Rebels need to get a grip. This is so boring. And there's no attacking urgency, like you said earlier on. Did you put money on them in the end, Jack, or did you just think about it? I hope you didn't, because the way that they're going is they just don't want to win, unfortunately, which is always very hard to watch. If Matt Tamua misses this as well, it just makes it even worse, because I've missed out on 6 points already. He's sitting 2 from 3 tonight. And I don't understand it. Like, we've seen how aggressive the Waratahs have been. Yes, they've only got 14 points on the board, but at least they're trying, you know? Also, question 8, what is 3,563 divided by 54? It's a number. Yes, I backed Rebels at 5-1. I know they wouldn't win, but decent odds. I thought, how much did you put on them in the end? Out of curiosity, that one's just gone over from Matt to Lewis, so that's a good thing at least. Also, you would think they would go for the corner. I would have thought so. Definitely when, like, they know that they have so much, like, to make up in this competition, and this game is so boring. I have forgotten about it. And there says Patty. Well, the good news is, though, we've got more games than Six Nations. They got the way with it because it was years ago. I can't imagine if they did it now. £100. Jeez. Okay. Well, I hope that they do all right for you in this game. Nicely taken there for Matt Phillip. And that is going to be about 30 meters out from the line now. And Joe Powell's going to be rolling this ball back. Anyone who's unaware of the other games, are you doing all the Six Nations games today? We sure are. First game at 3:15, I believe it is. But we will be starting a little bit earlier on. That is Wales versus Italy, followed by Ireland versus Scotland, followed by France versus England. And then before that, if we are feeling a little bit talkative, we might even do Munster versus the Lions. But at the moment, Angus Bell, he looks like he got some sort of injury, but he's still walking all right, which is good for him because it was his spine that didn't look like it was handling the pressure too well for himself there. But now Dave Parecki impacted us, sorry. I was about to throw this one in. That was a very long pause for throwing it in, and it's stolen once again by Kenham. He's been very good. And then also, what you reckon Ireland's chances are of stealing the Six Nations title? I mean, it's decent, but I think it's definitely one that it's going to be. Scotland are a hard side to beat. Just ask France for the last game of last year's Six Nations, where they did pull off the upset. If Ireland win it comfortably and get a bonus point, that helps them out just a little bit more. But then France still have to lose, which is not easy. If they win, the last game is going to be a cracker. Exactly right. It will all come down to that final game, France versus England, for the final game of the weekend. And also Wales to beat Italy by 30+, Ireland to beat Scotland by 14, France to beat England by 10, says Jack there. And what time is that last Six Nations game? I believe it is 9 a.m. I'll just quickly, one moment. We'll go here, and we will go, where are you? There it is. So these are the times of the games. Just don't worry about the fact that it's 8 days away. That is just when I took the screenshot of whenabouts it is going to be. But yeah, 3:15, 5:45, followed by 9 a.m. for that last game. So that's actually quite a long break in between those last two games, isn't it? Whereas those ones for prior to that is going to be a decent time. And I think that's just so that more people are able to watch that game, as it could be a very big one. That's going to be the penalty to the Waratahs there, and also Ireland are going to win the Six Nations. Says Paddy Wagon there. And also we have got, one moment, I'll go back to your earlier one, Brandon. Where is it? For what the answer, or you want the answer, because by the sounds of it, it is 65.981. I won an early, will win by 9, Ireland by 19, and England by 13. And France are at home. I reckon we will hear swing low. I think so, says Jacob. I mean, it's going to be an awesome atmosphere. Like, we had someone at the France versus All Blacks game send us a video of like the light show and everything like that. They know how to put on a like massive environment. No, that's a massive atmosphere. That's the word that I wanted, not environment as well. But it should be pretty awesome to see it in action. Definitely, because if they can get like 70,000 or 60,000 in attendance, some English, some French, like a lot of Englishmen are probably making the trip to be able to go over and watch their side, see if there is going to be a victory around the corner. Okay, I will be there for to the second to last game. And then the last game, says Sam Henry, but currently only a few meters out now for Tizano. It's another penalty advantage, and that's against Tamati Ioane. Ben Donaldson drawing past with Will Harris, already scoring one a little bit earlier on, Italy to beat Wales by 10 Kiwi lads. There's Matthew Dixon. Tell you what, it's a bold prediction, but you never know. Also, yep, that stadium is insane with all the lights. And there says Jacob McDonald, and also I will answer the hard questions. You answer the easy ones, Hamish. And there says Frank. That sounds like a good plan, because that would have been a very tough one to answer. But now, okay, they are going to be taking on the shot here. Now, this one for the Waratahs, I can understand, because this will give them an 8-point lead. It makes sense. But for the Rebels, who are forever playing catch-up, I don't see the point in taking threes all the time. They're probably going to win this game just so that, like, I guess I look like an idiot, which isn't very difficult to do. Also, I am here, or I'll be here at 9 a.m., says Brandon there as well. But Carlo Tazzano, a very young player. Jeff Cridge has not returned to the field as of yet, though, which does make me think he's possibly got quite a serious head knock. I know Matt Tamua, he was going to be going off the field for an HIA. He came back, though. Now Will Harrison lining up this kick. Smacked it down the middle, and that will be now the score of 17 points to the Waratahs and 19 to the Rebels. So they extend their lead back to the 6 points. I see the bench look like they're going to get warmed up. Noah Kwanita Wasi is there. He will be exciting to see him out in action. And Jamie Roberts as well as another back replacement for them. This matchup, but 17 points to 9. They are just showing the times that the games are taking place for Scotland versus Ireland, France versus England, and then, of course, the opening game of the Six Nations last round, that will be Wales taking on Italy. I'm wondering, I mean, I'd like to see, like, Italy get some form of point, even if it's like a losing bonus point, just get some point on the board. They were so close in their game up against Scotland, losing 33-22. They just weren't quite able to get that point that they were after. But the URC is actually taking place in 2 hours' time for Lions versus Munster. So that's not actually that far away. I'll probably end up watching that game while getting everything else organised for the Six Nations live streams that we have got coming up. And now going to be flying the ball back into the hands of Tamati Ioane. They've worked out him pretty well. In the first couple of weeks, no one had any idea how to take down the big man. But now they know you just got to get them around the ankles. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. That's a good penalty to win for the Waratahs. And it was Carlo Tazzano who was able to get over the ball and was able to win it. But we're 4 hours, 10 minutes away from the Six Nations taking place. And that first game, Wales versus Italy. I mean, Wales are sitting on 6. If Italy win, they would actually be relatively close to Wales on the table, but not quite for them. But it would just be nice seeing Italy get some form of point. So I'm just looking through. They didn't get any in 2021. Did they get any in 2000? Okay, they didn't get any points in 2020. 2019, they didn't get any points. Come on, surely soon. 2018, they got 1 point. So the last time they got a point was in 2018. And Montiani for a hat-trick. I would love to see that because he is a very talented player. That was close to the touch line for Matt Tamua, but done nicely. Who was it back in those days? Okay, it was the last game up against Scotland that they got themselves the bonus point. And then the year before, they didn't get a point. And then 2016, they get a point. I'm just going to have a quick look. No. Okay, so they've had 1 point in the last, 7 years of the Six Nations. That's not ideal. Well, not quite 7 years. It's getting close to it, though. So surely it is their time. Good night all. And see you all at 9 a.m. We will see you later on, mate. Currently now, going to be Will Harrison in the pocket. It was taken back, so unable to find touch on the full here. Taken nicely by Matt Tamua. Now running it for Rainu'u. Trying to spin out of that challenge, but still going to be just on the side of the Rebels. No, let's see. Marston out across Tamati Ioane. They went too high on him. I mentioned how you got to go around the ankles. They didn't do so. And because of it, now he's been able to drive his way up to the 22. Joe Powell back across here. We rushed defense on Jordi Nolese, who's really been shut out of this match so far. And really haven't seen too much at all. Joe Powell gets on the ball, wins the penalty. Right, if they take the 3 here, it will put them within the 7, but I really want to see them just try something different. At this stage, they're just playing catch-up, and every time that they get 3 points, the other side's getting 3 points as well, so it just doesn't really work. And 12:04 p.m. for me, or by me as well, says Barry Green. So just getting into the early stages of the afternoon for yourself. So you will be able to see the Six Nations, the URC, all taking place today, which should be very exciting indeed. But currently now, we are only sitting about 30 minutes left in this game. Next game that we are going to be watching, probably not commentating for, though, is Munster versus the Lions, as that takes place in only 1 hour and 55 minutes. And my voice might be gone by then. We'll have to wait and see there. A fun fact, Johnny McNichol is back in the Welsh team tonight. I played rugby with him at high school as well. One of 2 possible name drops I've got, says Jacob McDonald. Right. Who's your other name drop out of curiosity? Is it also rugby or is it a different sport? Jacob, do let me know. How's it going, Kiwi lads? Says Barry Green. Doing very well. The voice still there at the moment, so hopefully that will be the case throughout the rest of the live stream. And also the Six Nations as well, lining this up for, surprisingly, a 3-point attempt. And it's gone over. Now they're back within the 7. And it is going to be now 12 points to the Rebels, 17 for the Waratahs. That looks like a bad injury for Ben Donaldson, who's got the limp. He will be going off the field now. I feel like I'm allowed a few yawns throughout this one, as long as I'm wide awake for the Six Nations, that is. Currently, who else have they got? They've got Jamie Roberts and Nawakwanita Wasi and Teddy Wilson as well as another replacement that they may end up going to. But now going to be available for the Brumbies. No, they're not playing. The Rebels, about 25 metres out. And Joe Powell will be firing this one high once it is available. He's rolled it back. He's got the hands on the ball. Does end up putting it high. Tamati Ioane, actually the man trying to chase after that one. He hasn't quite lined it up, though. It's gone behind him. Taken nicely by Newsom, close to the touchline. Still keeping it in the field of play. And now a nice step. Oh, Parisi dropped on his head. That's not going to be too ideal. And I think that was actually Mafu, who might get himself in a little bit of trouble there. It's going back for it. Is it just the penalty? And also Simon Bergen. And he also played in high school. But he suited up as a prop for Scotland, although not this year, unfortunately. There says Jacob Wright. This looks like it could be a yellow card here. You're not allowed to pick the player up above the horizontal. I don't think he didn't jump into it either. Okay, it didn't look as bad from that angle, but unfortunately, once you do take a player above the horizontal, that's normally a yellow card. Okay, they're just checking this one more time. Johnny McNichol. He's gone so well, though, man. Played plenty of matches for Canterbury and for the Crusaders, then went overseas. Credit to him. And there says Jacob McDonald. That one as well. But it was, a bit of a lift. So that will be a yellow, more than likely, for the replacement. And I mentioned how we hadn't really seen Jordan Ulysses. Now we're not going to get to see his replacement for the next 10 minutes because he'll be sitting on the sideline. It's going to be Mafu. Okay, Jono Wells. He was trying to argue, or not really argue, but Michael Wells, in fact, it was. Okay, he accepted that one. For Effie Mafu, he kind of just went, yeah. And then just, he got his yellow card. He's now going off. At least he gets to sit on an adult-sized chair, though, because all of the other chairs, definitely at Suncorp, are just child-sized chairs. And similar to Sean Maitland. There says Jacob McDonald. Oh, they looked ugly from there. See, I feel like the only slight, name drop that I've got for myself is probably Cullen Grace. I did end up playing in the South Canterbury cricket development team with him. And he went on and played for the Satyrs and the All Blacks, which is kind of cool. Just my little tiny little one that I have got. But also something that's kind of interesting is I got a guy out in cricket on 130 runs. Cullen Grace took the catch, and that guy has gone on to play for the Otago Volts in the cricket. So and I am in my lounge. Ideal. But currently now looks like only 5 meters out here, and the Waratahs, not surprisingly, kick this one for the corner. And they are going to be going for the line out now for Dave Parecki and also the replacement front rower and Faulkner. Just communicating with what one they are going to be going with. They go to the front, and now the rolling mold does begin. Starting to get wheeled around sideways slightly. I think a few of the players, I don't know whether or not Matt Phillip is allowed to try and hold them back. It's not really doing too well for them. They're only a few meters out from the line. This one could be stuck in there. And if the Rebels know it is available for them now, going to be passing it back across. Backline movement. That was a hard hit there on Alex Newsom. He's got there. And he has just fallen over the line, Alex Newsom. And that's going to be the try to the Waratahs. That's what happens when you kick for the corner. I'm just saying. Now they've got themselves in the position of getting the bonus point here for the Waratahs. And Alex Newsom goes over. It will go like that. And he did score in the 55th minute. Okay. What are we looking at here? I think they've said, Does he propel himself forward, though? Okay, I think that's going to be fine, though. Well, then, Hamish, were you a person prepared for cricket, or did you come late? And there says Frank. I mean, I think I started playing when I was maybe 8 or 10 or somewhere around that mark. I think I was relatively young for the initial stage. And then from there, played through to maybe 15, 16, somewhere around that mark. But that is going to be the try for the Waratahs. And now, if they continue to sit the way that they are here, they will have the bonus point. That one's gone straight over. And the score now for the Waratahs is 24-12. And they have still got a man advantage over the Rebels here. So you'd have to wonder, I'm going to say it many, many times, probably more than likely, why take the 3? Just asking. You know, it's Super Rugby. 3-pointers, just like the Rebels, it hasn't worked for them so far in this one. Now driving their way forward once again. Nicely done here. And it's a penalty there to the Rebels. If they take the 3, I am going hiding. Please go for touch. They're kicking for the corner. 56 minutes in, they've finally decided, you know what? This might not be a bad idea. Although I bet you they'll lose this line out, and then that will just put them off it for the rest of the game now. 5 meters out, they're going for the rolling maul here. And they are going to have to try and score themselves at least one try. And also, how much you like cricket 22? They seem not to play it anymore, says Frank. I haven't actually ever played it. Cricket 22. I bought it right when it came out, which seemed like a great idea at the time. Then I realized I don't actually have time to play it, sadly. So I'm still yet to play it. So that is something that I do want to do in the future. Maybe it's a career mode. Maybe it's just something along those lines. Taken nicely there by Michael Wells. And now looking for the rolling maul. Looks like they aren't really going anywhere. I'm in cricket 19. I haven't really played it too often recently, have I? But yeah, I also don't really get an opportunity to play too much Xbox. I want to get the gaming channel back up and running so I can have an excuse to play a lot more of it in the future. But now Joe Bowie's trying to get that ball out from underneath there. I believe the Waratahs, that was a pretty cheap shot there in the spine by Andrew Callaway, but it's going to be the Waratahs who do end up winning themselves the penalty. So they'll go, that didn't work. We might as well have taken the 3. That's very nicely done indeed. We're just looking at the replay there. Jed Holloway just reaching over the top. It was doing very nicely. And also, anyone remember stick cricket, says Jacob McDonald? I do indeed. I remember you used to be able to customize the teams. You'd have everyone in your class, in your side. I used to only be able to play to the league side, though, on stick cricket, like the original stick cricket. I have like an IPL one on my phone that's like stick cricket based, but you can like sign players for certain seasons and whatnot. But I haven't played it since, I remember I played it 2019 for the Boxing Day test, not while at the ground, but I had it on that holiday for like on the plane and whatnot. Playing a bit of stick cricket, nothing wrong with it as well. But the Rebels have just not quite worked out for them there. Matt Phillippe was not happy with that one. But now, still 55 minutes through this game, although once I do this, it will update to 59. There we go. Which is a bit closer to the time that we are sitting currently. Got to pace myself with my water. Now going back. Charlie Gamble, he's very dirty. I think he's been lying underneath a few of the breakdowns here. Now charging forward. Nice kick downfield from Will Harrison. It does find touch, so they do take it quickly now. It's a good attack and run by Reece Hodge running straight at the line. It was great work there by the Waratahs, though, to stop him pretty much instantly. Michael Wells knocks the ball on. Noah Kwanitiwasi fighting for it. It's back on the side of the Tars. Now kicking it in behind, it will be Will Harrison looking for a bit of space. This one's going to find the open turf as well. Bounces back onto the side. Great hands from Vaihu. Just enough on it. They look like a knock-on. Yes, it was against Michael Wells. Not what the Rebels want. It's just handling error after handling error, really. And then after that, they have the penalties that go against them. throughout the matchup also. But currently 60 minutes through this game, and the bonus point still in favour of the Waratahs. The Rebels, they've been struggling in this game, and they will just be waiting for it to be over. To be honest, they won't want it to be one that is remembered a very, very long time. But handling errors, 11 for the Rebels. Even 6 for the Waratahs isn't ideal in that one. They just keep on going and going and going and hope that they don't end up losing this game badly. Like, if they get themselves another try here, that gives them the bonus point at least. So that's probably the next one that they are aiming for. If you are the Lions, or not the Lions, sorry, the Rebels, but Joe Powell going off the field now. I'm going to move this one over to here. Once again, there we go. And yeah, at this stage, it is Matt Gibbon making his way out onto the field alongside James Tuttle, who is now replacing Joe Powell. He's had an all right game so far, but the live standings as we sit, if they do get themselves a bonus point, they will actually move themselves up into third above the Crusaders with an extra game that they have played. And that will move the Chiefs down to fourth, or in fact, fifth, and come on the Rebels. And yeah, they just need something, just a little something. Can they get it, though? It's probably the big question. Now they are going to be going for that big push there in the scrum, still on the side of the Waratahs. Quick recycle ball, it's dropped there, and now it bounces back up onto the side. Reeside just got it, passing on the outside, and they're going with the advantage. This is what they need to do, just keep on running with it, and hope for the best. Reeside now fires it back. Going to be a step there from Kobus. Elof wrestled down. Now fire back once again. Carter Gordon, first receiver was Canham. Looks ready to go. Ball bounces out the side. It's hit the foot. And now it's going to be all Matt Phillip takes it back, though, for the Rebels. And they don't look like they've quite given up as of yet. Whose penalty is that? He's fallen on his face. Is he all right? Yes. It's all good then. Tuttle now going back to Elof. Carter Gordon. Big bump off from Rainu. Just running straight over the top of Will Harrison. Looking to the short side once again, out to the right. And now inside ball sold by Reeside. Doesn't quite link up with Callaway on the outside. We haven't really seen Callaway throughout this match, unfortunately. And it's one thing that, like, when you've seen him for the Wallabies, you know how dangerous he can be. He's just having a wrestling match, I believe, with one of the guys up the top of the screen, or I think that might have actually been the other replacement, Brad Wilkin or Sam Wallace. But now Rainu, little grubber behind is working out not too badly. Vaihu gets it. He does get forced into touch, though. He does go down. I think he might have taken a bit of a head knock in the process as well, but they're going back now for the initial advantage. Vaihu looks a bit rough now. And also, what is the game looking like so far? It was very much so like one that seemed like the Waratahs were going full-on attack. The Rebels were going full-on defensive mode in the way that they were attacking. But now it seems like the Rebels also know that this is important, that they need to keep on going. Also, I just watched a Cricket 19 stream, 152. Good score for a spinner in real life as well, says Frank. Oh, so that would have been the career mode one, was it, from ages ago? We do need to get back into that, I think. Whether it is on the Kiwi Lads Sport, or the Kiwi Lads Gaming, or this Kiwi Lads channel. Hopefully we can get something. But geez, he's almost knocked himself out there, Jack Grant. He looks like he's all right, though, but he's taken huge contact with Vaihu, which is not the man you want to run into, just because, people like being conscious. And if you run straight at that man, you're probably not going to be. Currently 18 minutes left. 12 points difference between the two sides. Like I mentioned, a bonus point here for the Rebels might be huge, trying to keep their hopes alive, but they still definitely need that bonus point. If they don't get it, then there is going to be a lot of trouble there for them. It looks like maybe, is it going to be Tonamapaya will be making his way back out there now. A little bit of a warm-up stretch himself, and now they are kicking this one for the corner once again here, the Rebels. Reesage gets it 5 meters out from the line. Vaihu, he looks like he's all right. He's just got a little bit of ringing in the air, I think, from that massive contact, but he looks like he's going to be continuing for the rest of this matchup now. Jordan Ulysses throws it in. Of course, they had to make the replacement. It's not straight. Oh, no. I'm just gonna disappear really quick. Is it going to do it? Here we go. You can still see it slightly, can't you? Which is not ideal for me being 100% stealth. Nah, not going to do it, is it? Whoa, that's a good old focus. Look at that. Watches it slowly realizes where I am. But, yeah. not what they would have wanted for the Rebels, because that's twice now when they've been 5 meters out that they have actually lost the ball. And I was like, what's up, Seth Garrett? Welcome into the live stream, mate. Hope you're doing well. Which game are you looking forward to the most in the Six Nations and also the URC? I know that Sharks play Zebra, Lions play Munster, and then tomorrow night, Cardiff, they'll be taking on the Stormers. That one's gone down in the front row. Big old push forward. Still going to be available, though, for the Waratahs, only a couple meters out from their own line here. They have to make sure that they do protect it very nicely, which they are not doing now. It is going to be on their side. They get about taking it quickly. They decide against it, and the Waratahs will kick this one for the touchline. But Charlie Gamble's got a mustache like no other in the rugby community, that is for sure. It's a very impressive one. I know that Nick White's is quite impressive as well, but this one from Charlie Gamble's, it is just a very thick, hairy mess, but not really mess at the same time. But now 50 meters out, continuing to drive their way forward. Reinu'u been looking very good in the second half, trying to step through the gap, 40 meters out now, just trying to create some opportunity for the Rebels to stay in this game. Cobus Eloff goes back to Carter Gordon, Matt Phillip now. Another carry, not quite turned over. Carter Gordon going back now, Reece Hodge. It's just all very good tackling from the Waratahs. I've noticed the tackling technique is always go around the ankles and another man jumping in for that turnover possibility. If you do miss a tackle, you've always got someone there just in case. Which does mean that there should be a few gaps in the outer regions of the field, was what I was trying to say before I was attacked by a yawn. Now Cobus Eloff sells the dummy on the inside. Now getting held up nicely. Does go down now, or does he? It's actually going to be turned over there by the Rebels. Oh, sorry, no, they already had the ball. Quick hands down to Andrew Kellaway, not having at all any space, but somehow keeps himself in the field of play. Join the ruck from the side. That's probably a penalty. But they haven't looked like they've gone upstairs for that one. Now going back across. Tuttle goes straight to Gordon. Good attack and run from Matt Phillip. He has not stopped running around now, just trying to leapfrog his way straight over the breakdown. Almost turned over. Still available now. Tuttle looking for the pass. Going back to Carter Gordon. Looking to draw it out now. The hands of it is actually the big number 19, Sam Wallace. Still available for them now going out. Carter Gordon, one more link up. Matt Phillip gets it again. They seem to only have about 4 men who are attacking at the moment here for the Rebels, but all of them trying extremely hard. Ball rolls back for Tuttle. Carter Gordon now on the outside. Quick draw and pass. Nicely taken out low. Andrew Galloway working well to protect that ball for the side. Up to 14 phases almost there for the Rebels. Trying to get straight on it. Almost turned over by Hugh Sinclair. Unable to do so. Canham getting close. Now getting close. And also, can I ask a question unrelated to rugby? Once again, it probably depends on what the question is. That's going to be close to the try. Yes, it is. The try for the Rebels. And it's none other than Cobus Eloff who has been able to score it there. But go for it. Do let me know what the question is. And depending on what it is, it depends on whether or not I answer it well, I guess you could say. We will go like this, and we will go like that as well. But Cobus Eloff, he's been scoring quite a few tries as of late. Seemed like a good pick for this matchup, and he has been able to get himself over the try line. And Cobus Eloff scoring that try to get the Rebels back into the match just a little bit more. And 19 points to 24, they are saying, so that will give them a bonus point and also cancel out the Waratahs bonus point. We will go like this. And we will go like that. As Michael Hooper playing says, Fish, he is not, but he will be coming back relatively midway through the season, I think it is. And also the question is, do you watch football? What's your favourite team, says Shark Brain? I do watch a little bit of football when I do get the chance. Favourite team's a tough one, though. Because, I mean, in the A-League, it would have to be probably Wellington Phoenix, just because they are the New Zealand side. And that one, in Premier League, I'd say I'm a bit of a fan of, I guess, probably Liverpool. Maybe just because I do quite like Virgil van Dijk as one of the defenders. Like, he is one of those players that he's probably swayed my feeling for Liverpool in his favour. And also Man City's not too bad either. Got a couple players that I normally do favour in a situation. So I'd say probably one of those two if I had to pick one. But saying that, they're not really definites just because they are pretty much the only ones I can think of off the top of my head of players that I like in their sides. But currently now the score, 19 points to the Rebels, 24 to the Waratahs. This game's still relatively close heading into the later stages of it. And it was the try that they needed. Definitely they did need that one. But now 5 in a row. And now Carter Gordon kicks it downfield. I loved it when Liverpool beat Manchester United. And there says Shark Brain. Now it's going to be just kept in the field. No, it's not. Newsom has gone into touch there. And that's a brilliant kick from Carter Gordon from inside of his 22, now giving them a huge amount of distance. And I believe that's going to be the line out there almost for the Rebels. I think they're going upstairs, though. Or making a few subs. Okay, the ball is out already, so it is going to be the line out now for the Waratahs. I'm getting ready to throw this one in. 69 minutes through this game. It's going to be passed off backwards nicely. Now, it's actually the number... Who's that? Gleeson. He hasn't actually had any run so far throughout the match. It's bright red headgear. He may have recently come on the field, or else I feel like I would have noticed him a bit sooner. Now kicking it way downfield for Will Harrison just outside of the 22. Reece Hodge looking to put it back to the sky. Kicks it high. There's a lot of players offside here. Reece Hodge has to get everyone back on. Now Newsom going back across with a good sideways run. Big tackle there from, I believe that was also Cobus Eloff. I've been involved in everything. I got to change or charge my phone. Maybe tune in later for the Lions game, mate. And they say Shark Brain, yeah, we are doing that game. It will be starting at about 12:55. But if not, then the first game will be the Six Nations that we do end up doing for the channel as well. But now Cobus Eloff, another attack and run up to the halfway line now for the Rebels. So they continue to build in to some more phase play. Carter Gordon, he's kicked the ball back downfield. A nothing kick, really. It's taken there with the mark by Andrew Newsom. Is that his first name? Alex Newsom. I know it started with A. I couldn't quite think of what his first name was, though. But now it will be kicking this one downfield. Like they're saying, the Waratahs, they'll be a bit nervous here because they've had a couple close games in the past. And this one is pretty close as well. Now looking for the touchline. Does end up finding it about 35 meters out from his line now. But that looks like it's going to be another injury here for, I think that's actually Tira Faulkner. But I doubt they would put Angus Bell back out there. But now Jamie Roberts, he is on the field. I always say it, that man's jaw is absolutely massive. Like, it's huge. It's bigger than my head. And that's just his jaw. Currently, he's a large individual as well. He's just made, I think that was Alex Newsom, look like he is a child. Now, 24-19 is the current score. Waratahs, they have got themselves a 5-point lead. 10 minutes left to play in this exciting matchup. It's been close. I feel like it's more exciting because it has been close. But there have certainly been decisions that both sides have regretted throughout the matchup. And they've also done some things very nicely throughout it as well. Now going to be a pass back from Tuttle Reinu'u. Once again, just bulldozes his way forward. Still driving forward. Does play for Otago, I believe, in the Bunnings NPC. Certainly a beastly player when he gets a bit of space. Matt Phillip now going back to Carter Gordon. Slung out pass out to Michael Wells. Doesn't look for the ball on the outside. Instead, takes the contact himself. Now going back on the inside. I believe it was a big tackle on Eloff by Gleeson. Still available now. Tuttle looking for that ball. He does receive it. Carter Gordon now going back across Canham. He's been great in this matchup. Probably one of the standouts for the Rebels throughout this game, I would say. That was called as a score. It was actually called as a maul. So now it does mean that the scrum feed is going to be going the way of the Waratahs. It was a very long silence as well for the commentators there. But Matt Phillip, he's not happy at the moment. He is arguing his point to the referee. And also, don't you dare score, Rebels. I don't care if Waratahs don't score, but I don't want Rebels to score as well, says Novman there. So I guess how many weeks in, did you say, you mentioned earlier on how many people were left. So is it kind of like each week you get it right, you continue, and then once you get it wrong, like I guess you could just completely out of it as well. Harry Johnson-Holmes, he will be going off the field. Pretty well done by him. Ryan Smith now making his way out there. It's the high five from a couple of his teammates. And Angus Bell, he is unable to do the high five as his back has hurt him pretty badly. I guess pretty much in there as well. And I was like, yeah, I agree. And there says Paddy Wing. And that's gone down in the front row. I believe there was an elbow down, but they've actually regained their composure there. That's now going to the short side. It is going to be kicked downfield from Will Harrison. Does look for touch. Does end up not quite finding it. Very close to the touchline. Reece Hodge doing a nice take there. Now going back across. Being Matt Phillip, he was retreating backwards. Then he called for the ball straight away. That's the thing. Even though his side are behind, he's still going to be always alert, always ready to go for that next run that he needs. First receiver once again there, Phillip, draw and pass. Now it's going to be Afu, a lot of pressure on him. It's a penalty there, won by it was Tom Horton, who just got on the ball in time. And unfortunately for Ma'afu, he's only just came out after hitting that yellow card a little bit earlier on, and now he has given away another penalty for his side, but well done from Tom Horton. There we go. We're running lower on the beverage. At this stage, I will have to get myself a rematch, or not a rematch, a refill. After it, and also, Hamish, how are you, mate? The SCG behind you. It is this game being played at the SCG, which is actually the first game for the Waratahs in a long time. And I said about it before the match as well. I'm actually impressed with how I've managed to almost get this one right. Yes, there are a couple weird, real half seats there, but other than that, it almost looks like the same photo. But it's actually cut off about there. So I'll take it overall. It's little improvements as we go, I guess. But we got still the Six Nations later on. Who do you think is winning the 3 games? Struck and do let me know. That one's going on the side of the Waratahs now, bouncing back. The hands are Gleeson trying to bounce his way out of the tackle. With the Waratahs score again, they will take that bonus point back just as we currently sit. But if they do not, and they possibly won't, because that's going to be the penalty now to the Rebels. Jack Grant trying to steal the ball. Taking it with them, not going to be allowed, using up a little bit more time. But 6 minutes left now in this game between the Waratahs and the Rebels. Joining Ruck incorrectly, and now Reece Hodge will be kicking this one downfield just a little bit more. I'm just trying to see if it has SCG written anywhere. You've done well to pick it up, that it was the SCG. Now, 45 metres out here for the Rebels. They have got themselves another line out at this point in time. And also, she's a good old ground. I've been there a few times. She's trucking down under. I think it's actually, that's the thing. That's probably one of the only grounds, other than maybe one other, that I can be like, I've actually been to it, because we did go for the AFL Sydney Swans versus Hawthorn a few years ago. So I think that's the only time. And I was sitting, I guess, that way. I guess because we weren't over there. We were in almost close to that pavilion thingy. So we got from week 1 to week 4. Is 1,045, 610, 389, 350. And as I says, Nov Mum. So I guess it's just like a share of 10 or $5,000, isn't it? Depending on how many people make their way through. Now currently 5 minutes left. The timer's off currently, so they don't need to worry about rushing this one. But meters for the kicks in play so far. We've almost had 2,000 meters kicked between the two sides here, which is huge. Over 1,000 meters for the Waratahs. There's going to be a loose scrum. It's moved too much. And now it is going to be a scrum reset. Okay, re-scrum blue ball at this stage. I wonder how many times you have to say that as a referee before you end up losing that stage of chuckling each time you do say that sentence. But currently, I think both sides have made a majority of their substitutions. The only one I'm looking for that I don't think has been subbed on as of yet is, one moment, we will move that over there. I don't think Stacey Ely's out there for the Rebels that I can tell. And also, I don't think Teddy Wilson's also out there as the other sub. That's gone down in the front row. It's a free kick there for pushing early on this near side. That was the number 18 there, Ryan Smith. They wanted to take that one quickly, and last person standing wins. And there says non-bump. So what happens when you run out of rounds of rugby? How do you determine who wins that? Is it kind of just more and more, they'll just keep on finding games? And ECG is a great ground. I give it a 9 Grego stars out of 10. Geez, that is impressive. That's not. For Carter Gordon, he's kicked it dead in goal. And that was the opportunity there for Carter Gordon. And unfortunately, he just hasn't had the best season, I guess you could say, so far for the Rebels. He kicked it in behind. No one was back there. Just got too much distance on it. And now because of it, it does cost them a little bit more. And they will have to go right back to where that was actually kicked from. Currently, anyone who's wondering what other live streams we have got on tonight. We've got the 3 games of the Six Nations. I'm hoping my voice lasts throughout all 3 of them. And if we have got it all set up and all ready to go, we might even have Lions versus Munster, which will be taking place at 1 p.m. New Zealand time. That's a lie. It's 1 a.m. New Zealand time, but that one will probably be a last-minute setup if we do end up doing it. And if the voice is still standing strong. But Jamie Roberts now, I thought the Wellington Phoenix lost 3-0, but it's Sydney FC bet Western United 3-0. That's not terrible because the Phoenix, we lost 4-0 already this week, I think it was. And Jay, at least 9 Gregos in there. Now, counter ruck there from the Rebels, still hanging on to it. Jack Grant still out there at the middle. Now, passing it back across. Big seller dummy from Nawa Kwanita Wasi. Couple big fends. Currently 50 metres out here for the Waratahs. They want their bonus point back. They've got the advantage as well. You might as well take it straight away. And Harry and the Jazz here, g'day. Welcome into the live stream, mate. Hope you're doing well. Currently now 2 minutes left in this game, although that says about 6, doesn't it? There we go. That will update it. And that's been kicked away. Advantage not over. And we are going back for the initial penalty. I guess I say this week it was down to 200 people will be then the following 120, then 70, then 30, then 15, then 8. Then the winner or something like that says North Mum. And there, so you're doing well for yourself. Is it like a randomized game that they choose each week, or is it like whatever one they think is going to be like a close, like pick 'em game type thing? And Drucken, and when I went there, I told him Greg sent me a scary laughed and told me to piss off and never come back, says Jay. Friendly Australian hospitality and a rule. I feel like that's one thing. What are they doing? Oh. They're taking the quick tap, the Waratahs. I got very confused. And you picked the game. Says no, I'm there. Ah, I see. Now passing it back across. Wait, so could you just literally like be like, oh, I think Moana Pacifica are going to lose to the Chiefs? Or do you earn like certain points or something for the risk that you take in a game? Maybe. And if the team you pick wins, you go on. And there. And also, yeah, mate, I can understand that. He's striking down under. Because I'm just thinking, wouldn't you just pick like the Crusaders, but not last week, of course. But like, wouldn't you just pick the absolute like favorite that's going to be knocked on there by the Rebels? And that is possibly going to be the end of this game. The Waratahs, if they get themselves one more try, they get themselves a bonus point. No, just pick a winning team. And there as well says Nov Mum. Right. Nice. A little bit of aggression shown there by, I think that was, in the end, Dylan Pitch. We haven't really seen him since the first 5 minutes. I remember they said all Peach is going down the wing, and that's all. That's literally all we have heard of him throughout this match. At least it was a good run down the wing, at least. And I was like, I hope the Rebels win. And there says Lower so if they were able to do so, that would mean that they do win the scrum feed, which is a massive one here for them. But currently now, 5 points difference between the two sides. The Rebels, they'll get themselves the bonus point, and you're pretty much like I picked the Crusaders to win when playing Moana Pacifica. And then also we have got the Hamish, are you streaming again tonight? We sure are. That's going to be the free kick there to the Waratahs. All working early. They might be able to force themselves down there a little bit further. So tonight we have got, they kick it into touch. That will be the end of the game. And the Waratahs do win it 24 points to 19. We're about Zoe. There we go. So we are doing all 3 of these games. The 3:15 a.m. game between Wales and Italy, the 4:45 a.m. game between Ireland and Scotland, followed by the game between France and England at 9 a.m. And then also maybe, if the voice is allowing it, we are going to be doing the game between the Lions and Munster as well. That is starting at 1 a.m. But probably more than likely we might end up missing that one just so that we can have some sort of voice for the next one. In the Six Nations as well. And also, Dragon, it's okay. I'll just sponge off Gibbo and settle for the Gabba members in there, says Jay. And also, thank you. Closer to getting 5K, says No Mum. So, yeah, hopefully you are the last one standing into that one as well. But thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And like I mentioned, we got 3 Six Nations live streams coming a little bit later on. I will start setting them up relatively soon, so you guys can see exactly when those will be taking place. But our first one, if the game's starting at 3:15, we'll probably start at about 3:05, somewhere around there. The key will be not to start too early, or else my voice might disappear before we get into the match. So that will be the big one. Also, Nom Nom, good job. And then I'll give her the legend. And as I said, trucking down under. But this game, it was a close one in the end. The Rebels, when they started going aggressive, they actually stopped them from getting the bonus point. in the end there. But for Kerry, Harris, Newsom, and it was Elof who was able to score the other try in this fixture. Then it's going to be an interesting one. Did I say that he got it in the fixture or for the Waratahs? Because if I said the Waratahs, I meant the Rebels, as there were 3 tries for the Waratahs, for Kitty, Harris, and Newsom. But yeah, Six Nations coming up later on tonight. I'm excited, and now I have to wait like 3 or 4 hours till I get to see that game, which is sad because I'll just be sitting here going, Six Nations just around the corner. You know, it's going to be good. And then I have to wait and wait and wait. And then Italy versus Wales will be like 6-0 or something like that. It's a tough schedule for you. You're covering these matches 3:15 a.m. It's hard to manage, brother. Says Lower Jen. We are indeed. Although it is the last week of the Six Nations. Other than the women's Six Nations, if we do end up covering that, then that will be more of the middle of the night that we will be up for. But it is just the rugby schedule, Northern Hemisphere rugby, even though it would be lovely to have them all as afternoon games. They're afternoon games over there, but just not quite over here, sadly. I'll try to be here, probably not though, as I said, Petty Wagon. No worries at all, mate. And thanks for all your hard work, Hamish Legend, says Sakabulla. And thank you very much, mate, for tuning in. We will see you all a bit later on tonight. If you are new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Check out the Kiwi Lad Sport as the pinned comment, and I will see you all for the next one.